In an era when countless atrocities during World War II shook the world, there was one man whose crimes were even more brutal than most. This is the story of Dr. Satan, or Marcel Petiot, who spread fear and terror in the streets of Paris. The path to evil from the start. Marcel Petiot was born on January 17, 1897, in the French town of Auxerre. Even as a child, something was noticeably wrong with him. At the age of 11, he brought his father's gun to school one day and fired it without any reason. That same year, he made inappropriate advances toward a classmate, which led to his expulsion from several schools. As Petiot grew older, his criminal tendencies became more evident. He robbed a post office and vandalized public property, leading to his arrest. In court, he was declared mentally ill and released. But this decision did nothing to stop him from committing more heinous crimes. In 1916, Petiot was drafted into the French army. However, his time in the war was brief. After being injured in battle, he was sent for psychiatric evaluation, where he was diagnosed with mental instability. This disorder only fueled Petiot's criminal urges. While in the hospital, he made it a habit to steal personal belongings and medicines from other soldiers. After the war ended, Petiot pursued an accelerated education and became a doctor in just 8 months. The rise of Dr. Satan. After becoming a doctor in 1921, Petiot began practicing in the village of Villeneuve-sur-Yonne. However, his goal was not to help patients, but to exploit them for personal gain. He addicted his patients to narcotics and filed fraudulent claims for financial aid from the government. In 1926, Petiot committed his first known murder. After the sudden disappearance of Louise Delaveau, the daughter of one of his patients, people began to grow suspicious. Neighbors reported seeing him load a large trunk into his car. A few weeks later, a similar trunk was found in the Yonne River, containing the dismembered body of an unknown woman. But this murder didn't stop Petiot. That same year, he became the mayor of the village, continuing to engage in corruption, theft, and fraud. After failing in local politics, Petiot moved to Paris to start a new life. Using forged documents, he established a successful medical practice, once again immersing himself in criminal activities. Then came World War II, and Petiot's true evil emerged. He lured people into believing he could help them escape German oppression and flee to Argentina. For 25,000 francs, he promised Jews and resistance fighters safe passage. Instead, he would inject them with poison under the guise of vaccinations and then dispose of their bodies. At first, he dumped the bodies into the Seine River, but when that became too risky, he began dissolving them in lime or burning them. Suspected by the Gestapo, the German secret police, the Gestapo, caught wind of Petiot's fake escape network. They suspected him of being part of the resistance, but had no idea he was actually a killer. Despite the arrest of 3 of his accomplices, the Gestapo failed to capture Petiot. In March 1944, Petiot's neighbors reported strange odors and smoke coming from his home. When the police arrived, they were confronted with a horrific scene. In the basement, they found the remains of 10 people, while human remains were burning in the furnace. The police quickly realized they had uncovered the true nature of Dr. Satan. The media soon dubbed him Dr. Satan, and the news spread across France. Petiot managed to remain on the run for 7 months after his arrest, but he was finally captured on October 31st, 1944. at a Paris metro station. During his trial, he repeatedly claimed he was a member of the resistance and that the victims were German conspirators. But this time, his manipulations failed. On May 25, 1946, Dr. Satan was sentenced to death for the murder of 26 people. He was guillotined and met his end. However, the truth remains that Petiot likely killed far more people, taking the exact number with him to the grave.